Reverend Garrett Harper. Reverend Garrett Harper is the head of Urban Ministries, and he wanted to come thank us for supporting him out of our festival funds. We support 3 local charities: First Light Women's Shelter, the Firehouse Shelter, and Urban Ministries, and he wanted to come thank us and tell us a little bit about the work they're doing with our help.
Thank you so much. My name is Garrett Harper. I'm the executive director of Urban Ministry. It's a nonprofit in Birmingham's West End. And we were one of the recipients of the proceeds from the food festival, the Greek festival, happened not too long ago. And if you only hear me say one thing today, let it be thank you. Thank you so much. Your love and generosity changes lives. And without people like you who care enough to give, Birmingham won't get any better. And Birmingham needs more of that love and generosity. So thank you so much. At Urban Ministry, we do so many things. I don't have time to tell you all of them, but the core of our mission is to animate the God-given skills and gifts in each resident of West End. We're not so much focused on services, we're focused on how Jesus is in each and every person, and we believe that the only way West End can change is if the residents come alive and use their God-given skills and gifts to make the community better. We train young adults construction skills through renovating homes in the neighborhood. We train young adults in cooking skills through feeding the neighborhood. And when these young adults graduate, they get a interest-free lease-to-own ownership to own a home. And many of them are the first homeowners in their family. I want to tell you one quick story about the ways that I see Jesus in people of West End. My wife and I bought a house in West End about 10 years ago, and we moved there to pastor the Methodist church that worships in the Urban Ministry building. Now, in the United Methodist tradition, when we take a new church, there's several rules that pastors like to follow. First, don't trust anybody too quick. Don't make any promises. You got to get a copy of all the hidden agendas before you do that, right? Second, don't make any major changes in the first year. Slow down, go slow, get to know what's going on. Jesus is certainly taking his time coming back. No need to rush. Number 3, I call this the hospitality clause. You might like it. If somebody feeds you, eat it. No buts, no caveats, no dietary restrictions. You're a pastor, it's an act of love. You got to eat that food. And number 4, spend the first several months just getting to know people. So when I moved into West End, I followed the rules. I got to getting to know people. And I quickly learned that everyone within 5 blocks of our building called one woman Mama, Miss Ernestine Washington. She was a 68-year-old widow, officially fostered 19 kids, raised countless more, and on any given night of the week, there were kids and adults without a safe place to stay, sleeping on the floor and couches of her 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So I started going to Ernestine's to get to know people connected to the church. And the first time I went to her house, I learned Ernestine loved 2 things: playing cards and cheap liquor. Now, I sat down at the table and she dealt me those cards and poured me a glass of the most god-awful, devil-distilled liquid fire known to God's earth. And that first night, I drank it. Remember rule number 3, hospitality clause. But boy, did I pay the price. It declared war on my throat, then on my stomach. It even fought me a few hours later on the way out. It did. And when I left her house that evening, I promised myself that I would never do that to my body again. So the next time I went to her house, she dealt me those cards, poured me that liquor, and when she wasn't looking, I poured it into the house plant behind me. Now that worked well for several months until one day I went over there and the house plant was gone. I said, Ernestine, what happened to your plant? She said, Pastor, I don't know. I've taken good care of it, but it just died. I didn't say nothing. Forgive me, Jesus, right? That night, I just poured it into the guy's cup beside me, and he didn't mind too much. But on that particular evening, it was cold outside. Ernestine had her oven at 500, door wide open. It's both the poorest and most expensive way to heat your house. There were 20 people slammed into that little living room, adults talking, laughing, kids running around playing. And as Ernestine dealt me those cards, I said, Ernestine, who in here is actually related to you? Who in here is your family? She smiled and said, "Oh, everybody, Pastor, including you." I tried again. I said, "Ernestine, I know in Jesus, brothers and sisters in Christ, but who in here is actually your family?" "Everybody, Pastor, including you." I tried one more time. "Ernestine, I'm talking blood in your veins. Who in here is actually related to you?" She set her cards down, lifted her finger, pointed at me, and said, "Everybody, Pastor, including you. Now don't ask me again." Now, Ernestine had the most powerful finger in West End. And when she lifted it, you were compelled to its will. I didn't dare ask again. That was 10 years ago, and I still don't actually know who was related to Ernestine. It's not because she didn't tell me, but because she loves everyone as if they're family. I think this is what Jesus was getting at when he taught his disciples to pray, "Our Father." He's saying, guys, if you can just love non-family like you do your own, then this broken world just might have a chance. I can't do it. I love lots of kids in West End, but I only have college funds for the 2 that I help make, right? But not Ernestine, not Mama. She loves us all the same. And you help her love spread throughout West End. Thank you so much.